Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm PRV. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a basic sleeve block. The measurement needed for this tutorial are the sleeve length, the bicep, the elbow, and the wrist. The sleeve length I'm working with is the long sleeve. Okay, you can determine whichever length you want, okay? But here I'm working with a long sleeve block. The first thing we want to determine is the width of the pattern paper needed for this tutorial. Here I'll be using the widest circumference among my measurements. My bicep, the elbow, and the wrist. The circumferences of these three, the widest among them. So the bicep is the widest because it's 12 inches. My elbow is 10 inches and the wrist circumference is 8 inches. So I'll be using 12 inches plus an excess of 2 inches for the width of my pattern paper. So I have 14 inches. From this end to this end, I have 14 inches for the width. Alright, so divide the width of the pattern paper into 2 equal halves, and here is the center line. So here I have 7 inches and here I have 7 inches as well. Here I created a margin and this represents the sleeve head. That is the starting point, and the end of the sleeve here, which is the wrist. So this is the length from the sleeve head, from this line up here down to the wrist is the length of the sleeve. All right, so let's move ahead to taking our measurements. First, the bicep length is determined by taking the circumference of the armhole and dividing it by 3. So the circumference of the armhole I'm working with is 15 inches. Divided by 3 is 5 inches. So from the sleeve head, I will mark 5 inches downwards. I'm going to mark the 5 inches on this end as well so that I can have a straight line. Okay, and then I will mark horizontally. And then I will label this as my bicep. Okay. Now I'll move ahead and take the measurement of the distance between the bicep and the wrist. Okay, this is my wrist line. So I'll take the measurement of the distance from the bicep down to the wrist. And here I have 16 inches. So the midpoint of 16 is 8. That is 16 inches divided by 2. That is 8 inches. So this is the midpoint of the distance between the bicep and the wrist. Okay, but now I'll come up by 0.5 inch from that point. I'll come up by 0.5 inch, and this will represent my elbow line. So that means invariably from the bicep down to the 0.5 inch that I've moved up with, I have 7.5. So I'll mark the 7.5 across in order to have a straight line. Okay, and then I will square it across horizontally. And this represents my elbow line. So I'm going to label this elbow. Alright, so now that we have determined all this, then we'll take our circumferences on each point. So I'll come to the bicep. The bicep circumference I'm working with, the bicep is the upper arm. Okay, it's 12 inches. So I'll be dividing that by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6 inches. So I'll take 6 inches on this end and 6 inches on this end from the center line. So this is my 6 inches here and then 6 inches here. Then I'll come to the elbow line. The elbow I'm working with is 10 inches. So 10 divided by 2, I'll be having 5 on this end, 5 inches here and 5 inches here. And then the wrist circumference that I'm working with is 8 inches. 8 divided by 2, I'll have 4 inches on this end from the center line and 4 inches on this end. So I'll connect these measurements like so. Okay, on both ends of my block. Okay, after connecting my measurements, then I'll go ahead and connect this bicep circumference to the center line on the sleeve head, like so, and also on this end, like so. All right, now I'll label this my front armhole. This is the front and this is the back. Okay, come to the front armhole and then measure the slanted line, this line that we have connected to the bicep from the center line at the sleeve head line. Okay, mark the midpoint. Here I have 7 3/4. Then I'll mark the midpoint. That is, I'll divide the measurement I have on this slanted line, I'll divide it by 2. Okay, and so I can just decide to fold my measuring tape in order to have an accurate measurement. All right, so this is the midpoint. Okay, so this is the center of my measurement. I'll do the same on the back armhole, and then I'll just fold my measuring tape into 2 equal halves, like so, and then I'll mark the midpoint. That is, I'm dividing this slanted line into 2 equal halves on both front and back block, as you can see. Now each portion, so we have 2 portions here and 2 portions here. So on this first one, I'll divide it into 2 equal halves again. This first portion, divide it into 2 equal halves. Okay, so I have here, and then also this portion here, I'll divide it into 2 equal halves. Okay, so I have this. So on this front armhole, I have 3 points. 1, 2, 3, my markings. Okay, the same thing I'll be doing on the back armhole. I'm dividing each of the portion that we have earlier marked into 2 equal halves. Okay, so I have 3 markings on the back armhole as well. So move ahead. On the front armhole, on this first marking here, I'll move up by 0.8 inches. 0.8. Okay, I'll move up by 0.8 inches. And then on the one at the middle, the marking at the middle, I'll move up by 0.3 inches. 0.3. And then on the one at the end here, I'll come down by 0.5. Then I'll come down by 0.5 inch, like so. I'll pick my curve ruler and place it to connect these 2 first markings, the 0.8 and the 0.3. I'll place my curve ruler like so. and connect it to the center line at the sleeve head. All right, and then I'll place my curve ruler like so to connect the 0.5 inch to the center marking like so, and then down to the end of our bicep circumference. I hope you can see that. So I'm connecting my 0.5 inch to the 0.3 at the center and also to the end of the bicep circumference here. Like so. I hope you can see that. And then blend it up, making sure that you don't have any sharp edge. Alright, and then I'll move to the back bodice, the back armhole rather. And come up by 0.6 inch. On this first marking here, come up by 0.6 inch. Remember here on the front armhole we came up by 0.8, but here 0.6. Okay, here's my 0.6. At the center marking, come up by 0.3, the same 0.3 that we came up with here. So come up by 0.3 inches. And then the last marking here will come down by 0.4. 0.4 inch. Here on the front armhole we came down by 0.5, but here 0.4. Okay, come down by 0.4. Connect the same way we have connected the front armhole. The first two markings, we connect it like so to the center line at the sleeve head. Place your curve ruler, making sure it touches the two markings, the first two markings, and also the center line at the sleeve head. Okay, and then bring it this way and connect the second marking to the 0.4 here, and then to the end of our bicep circumference here, like so. Alright, so here is our back armhole and this is the front armhole. If you look closely, you will see that the front armhole is deepened more than the back armhole. So I'll be cutting this out, and this is our basic sleeve block. I'll cut this out and then I'll show you. Alright, so here is our basic sleeve block, and that will be the end of our tutorial for today. If you are new on this channel, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell in order to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Alright, see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now. Bye.